faithfully delivering value by interpreting great books worldwide. Hi there, this is Sally Book Talk. Today we're interpreting the book The Placebo Effect for you. A placebo is a substance with no actual therapeutic effect, but provides psychological comfort to patients. If, for example, a doctor gives a migraine patient a sugar pill, telling them it's a special headache medicine, this is a placebo. Some patients undergo surgeries, meds, or treatments with no real effect, but their condition improves due to psychological factors. This is called the placebo effect. Oh, for instance, a doctor injects distilled water into a tumor patient, and their condition gets controlled. Or a late-stage cancer patient, believing they'll recover, lives 10 or 20 years longer with miraculous healing. We often hear such stories. Are they real or not? The author, Lisa Rankin, is a senior OBGYN in the U.S. In her practice, she heard many placebo effect cases. Rankin was skeptical at first, but after deep research, she realized the placebo effect is real. Our minds and beliefs can affect our health, even triggering self-healing. The Placebo Effect book introduced today is Rankin's summary of her findings. In the book, she combines research and personal experiences to analyze the placebo effect, why it happens, and its factors, and proposes a new health method for mind-body unity and self-healing. After publishing, the book caught attention from many health experts. Renowned U.S. surgeon Bernie Siegel thinks the book holds deep wisdom. Brené Brown, author of the bestseller The Power of Vulnerability, praised Rankin's passion and experience as perfect guidance for health.
Rankin was invited to TED to share her mind-body health views, and her talk video hit over 1 million views.
Next, I'll break down the book's main content into 3 parts. First, what are the effects and principles of the placebo effect?
Second, how to prevent diseases.
Third, how to achieve self-healing. Let's start with part 1. What are the effects and principles of the placebo effect? Over the past few decades, the medical community has done a series of comparative studies on the placebo effect, finding that psychological factors can indeed improve patients' conditions. This improvement is relatively obvious in chronic diseases like immune system disorders, psychological disorders, respiratory diseases, nervous system diseases, and pain disorders. But after placebo treatment, these chronic disease patients experience a series of physiological improvements, including lower blood pressure, healed ulcers, reduced inflammation, and so on. But for acute serious illnesses like cancer, stroke, and liver failure, there's currently not enough evidence to prove placebos are effective. A well-known international medical journal, Clinical Research Journal, reported a case where a patient was troubled by severe nausea and vomiting. Instrument tests showed the patient's gastric contraction function was disordered. The doctor gave him a new drug, telling him it was absolutely effective for treating nausea. Oh, just minutes after taking the drug, the patient stopped feeling nauseous, but the so-called new drug was actually an emetic. Theoretically, it should have made the nausea worse. He felt like vomiting, but instead, the patient's symptoms miraculously disappeared and gastric contractions returned to normal. Evidence supporting the placebo effect isn't rare in medical journals. Studies show about 40% of headache patients get relief after taking a placebo, and nearly half of asthma patients can reduce symptoms with a fake inhaler.
What's more, up to 40% of infertility patients successfully conceive after taking a placebo.
The author believes 2 psychological factors trigger the placebo effect. One is the patient's positive belief in the treatment, trusting it can cure the disease. Like the emetic mentioned earlier, the other is a good doctor-patient relationship. This makes patients feel loved and supported, and they trust the doctor. A good doctor-patient relationship includes the doctor's own positive belief in curing the disease and the doctor's attentive care for the patient. For example, focusing on listening to patients' needs, patiently explaining their condition, and showing care and encouragement, and so on.
A good doctor-patient relationship can significantly boost the effectiveness of the placebo effect.
A Harvard Medical School study showed that when doctors act warmly, attentively, and confidently during treatment, the rate of patients experiencing the placebo effect hit 68%, while another group who didn't get doctor treatment and just took a placebo had only 28% show the effect. Over the past few decades, the medical community has conducted a series of comparative studies on the placebo effect, finding that psychological factors can indeed improve patients' conditions. They have to encourage patients. Oh, this improvement is relatively obvious in chronic diseases such as immune system disorders, psychological disorders, respiratory diseases, nervous system diseases, and pain disorders. Oh. After placebo treatment, these chronic disease patients experience a series of physiological improvements, including lower blood pressure, healed ulcers, reduced inflammation, and so on. But for acute serious illnesses like cancer, stroke, and liver failure, there's currently not enough evidence to prove placebos are effective. In another study, the U.S. National Institute of Mental Health divided 250 depression patients into 4 groups randomly, each receiving different treatments over 16 weeks, including interpersonal psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, antidepressant medication, and placebo treatment. Researchers recorded doctor-patient interactions and asked experts to predict which patients would recover better based solely on these recordings. The results showed that experts made correct predictions based only on doctor-patient relationships shown in videos, without considering actual treatments. Doctors who had more emotional exchanges with patients and also believed more in their recovery achieved better outcomes. The author also found that the opposite phenomenon exists. Negative beliefs can harm the body, known in medicine as the nocebo effect. Research shows many medical students develop symptoms of diseases they're studying because they fear exposure will make them sick. The author himself experienced something similar during medical school. At one point, he was studying the pathology of various diseases like dengue fever and narcolepsy. Suddenly, he felt bugs crawling under his skin, as if ready to burst out.
He also thought numbness in his feet signaled leprosy and suspected spots on his palms were symptoms of erythema infectiosum.
When he went to the school clinic, the doctor told him this wasn't uncommon. The author worked at a public clinic in San Diego, where most patients were Somali refugees. Due to medical cultural differences, many distrusted American doctors and doubted treatments. The author noticed harmless treatments like prenatal vitamins caused side effects in refugees far more often than in others. He suspected this happened because some refugees believed doctors were poisoning them. Why do psychological factors cause disease, improvement, or worsening? The medical community hasn't reached a consensus yet. After research, the author proposed a theory. Beliefs in doctor-patient relationships trigger the body's relaxation or stress responses, altering physiological activity and causing placebo or nocebo effects. This theory finds some explanation in the principles of nervous system activity. There are 2 sets of autonomic nervous systems in the human body. One is called the sympathetic nervous system. Its purpose is to make us excited and alert to handle external pressures and challenges. The other is called the parasympathetic nervous system. Many important daily physiological activities in the body, like digesting food, sleeping, resting, immune activities, etc., are all linked to the parasympathetic nervous system. Right. So, first, how do negative beliefs trigger the nocebo effect? When the brain perceives a survival threat, the sympathetic nervous system activates, and the body enters a stress response. At this point, the body secretes chemical hormones that raise blood pressure, increase oxygen supply, tense muscles, and boost attention to better tackle challenges. But this response has a cost. To handle stress, the body burns more energy, suppressing physiological activities tied to the parasympathetic nervous system, like digestion and immunity. So, Many people get diarrhea or insomnia under stress, all because the parasympathetic nervous system is suppressed. After all, in the brain's view, overcoming immediate crises to survive is top priority, less urgent matters can wait. Moreover, scientific research shows that stress-induced hormones like cortisol and adrenaline can damage cell health long term. Combined, these factors worsen diseases, causing the nocebo effect. So, how do positive beliefs trigger the placebo effect? The author believes that when stress fades and the brain feels safe and relaxed, the sympathetic nervous system is suppressed. The parasympathetic nervous system activates and the body enters a relaxation response. Previously suppressed activities like digestion and immunity return to normal. Many diseases, such as gastrointestinal disorders, stem from disrupted physiological functions. Under relaxation, improvement naturally occurs. Additionally, in the relaxation response, the body secretes hormones like endorphins, oxytocin, and dopamine, which ease pain, reduce tension, and prompt cell self-repair. This aids symptom improvement and triggers the placebo effect. Okay, let's summarize the first part. The placebo effect stems from patients' positive beliefs in treatments and good doctor-patient relationships, which spark the body's self-healing relaxation response. It significantly improves chronic diseases. If patients hold negative beliefs or have poor doctor-patient relationships, it triggers harmful stress responses, worsening conditions. The author further points out that healthy people in prolonged stress responses have hindered normal physiological activities and unhealthy cell growth, making them prone to illness. Oh, okay. So the best way to prevent disease is to change lifestyles to reduce stress responses and increase relaxation responses. Now, in part 2, let's discuss how to prevent diseases. The book mainly introduces 3 methods. The first is avoiding loneliness. Many studies show when people lack external support and feel they must face life's pressures alone, stress responses occur, increasing anxiety, blood pressure, and immune suppression, hindering disease resistance and bodily repair. Comparative studies between lonely and non-lonely people reveal lonely individuals often have cardiovascular dysfunction, with higher risks of arrhythmia and weak heart contractions. A Swedish survey of 1,290 heart surgery patients found self-reported lonely people had higher mortality rates. To reduce loneliness-induced stress, we can connect with friends, join groups, or attend regular activities, effectively improving health. A 9-year study of Alameda County residents showed, after adjusting for health or economic factors, socially active people had 1/3 the mortality rate and lower cancer incidence than isolated individuals. Beyond group connections, romantic relationships also effectively reduce loneliness. Feeling loved, supported, and cared for in relationships triggers stronger relaxation responses. UCLA analysis of census data shows unmarried people have a 58% higher risk of premature death than married individuals. People in healthy marriages have lower blood pressure and fewer insomnia issues. Despite these relationship benefits, we must acknowledge their potential negative impacts. Many lonely people choose isolation because of past relational trauma. For instance, childhood bullying, constant marital conflicts, or domestic violence can trap people in long-term stress responses, ultimately damaging health. Terminate such unhealthy relationships promptly. Only relationships that provide support and care are beneficial to health. Increase relaxation responses. The second method is reducing work stress, which has become the most common stress in modern life. Many people develop physical symptoms from work stress, including back pain, headaches, insomnia, fatigue, and digestive issues. These may seem minor, but the author considers them early stress signals that can evolve into heart disease, obesity, depression, or even death from overwork if ignored. So how do we reduce work stress? The most direct way is timely rest. No matter how busy, we must protect rest time. Additionally, the author suggests finding creative work. Science shows creative expression triggers relaxation, reduces anxiety, and improves immunity and sleep. Everyone excels at different creativities. Find corresponding work based on your strengths. Of course, finding such ideal work isn't easy. If you can't find suitable work yet, start expressing creativity through daily hobbies. Writing enthusiasts can try novels. Publish articles on social media. Design lovers can join workshops or take freelance projects to gain experience. As you improve relevant skills, opportunities for suitable new work may arise. The third method to increase relaxation responses is maintaining optimism, proven beneficial by many studies. Harvard psychologist Laura Kubzansky's 10-year study of 1,300 men found optimists had half the heart disease rate of pessimists. Well, another study showed optimists recovered faster after heart surgery and lived longer. But to maintain optimism, we can adopt the ABC method by Martin Seligman, father of positive psychology. ABC stands for adversity, belief, consequence. We interpret adversity through our beliefs. This leads to corresponding outcomes. For example, Xiao Wang texts a friend but gets no reply. That's an adversity. If Xiao Wang is a pessimist, his belief would be, my friend doesn't like me anymore, resulting in feeling down all day. Seligman encourages people to debate pessimistic beliefs and interpret adversities more optimistically. Xiao Wang could tell himself, no reply might mean the friend is busy or forgot. It doesn't necessarily mean dislike. He could also recall happy memories with the friend as evidence for optimism. By consistently countering pessimism, we maintain optimism. Okay, let's summarize here. In part 2, prolonged stress responses disrupt bodily functions, making us more prone to illness. We can reduce stress by avoiding loneliness, using work pressure, and staying optimistic, increasing relaxation to prevent disease. For already ill patients, the author believes beyond doctor treatment, self-love can trigger relaxation and promote natural healing. Next, part 3, how to achieve self-healing. To help understand mind-body health factors, the author proposed a health model called the Whole Health Cairns. Here, cairns refer to stone piles serving as landmarks. These piles consist of varied stones stacked together, mutually supporting to achieve stable balance. If we see overall mind-body health as a cairn, each stone represents a health-influencing factor. Diet, exercise, social relationships, work conditions, mindset, etc. all belong to these factors. The top stone is physical health, whose stability depends on all stones beneath. If any stone below fails, the physical health stone loses balance and falls. Thus, to restore physical health, we must not only follow medical advice, taking meds, exercising, balancing nutrition, but also practice thorough self-love. Adjust all life aspects to eliminate stress responses causing disease, achieving mind-body harmony to trigger relaxation. Only then can we harness the body's self-healing ability to cure diseases. How exactly can we do this? The author's self-healing method includes 6 steps. The first step is believing you can heal yourself. Many previous cases prove that positive beliefs can activate the body's self-healing ability. Persisting in this belief can stimulate the positive faith in self-healing, letting the body better enter a relaxed state and begin self-repair. The author recommends people consolidate this positive belief through meditation. Patients can close their eyes, take a deep breath, and visualize the scene of their disease being cured. The more specific the visualization, the better. For example, if a patient has heart issues, they can imagine their heart beating powerfully. During meditation, patients can also repeat some self-affirming phrases. For instance, I am whole and healthy, disease-free. These can strengthen positive beliefs and promote self-healing. The second step is finding appropriate support. Self-healing doesn't mean refusing doctors' help. Of course, if sick, seek medical attention promptly. Medications and surgeries are very effective means. A good doctor-patient relationship can also trigger relaxation responses. These are all resources we should fully utilize in self-healing. So, when seeking external support, find healthcare providers who genuinely care about you, share your positive belief in healing, and provide attentive care. Additionally, they should respect your feelings and suggestions because no one knows your body better than you. Such healthcare providers will tailor the most suitable treatment plan based on your feedback, helping you recover faster. The third step in self-healing is listening to your inner guidance light. As mentioned earlier, the whole health care consists of many factors, and the foundational stone is what the author calls the inner guidance light. This refers to the perception and intuitive wisdom inherent in everyone's heart. It knows what the root cause of our problems is and what we need most. As long as we are willing to face ourselves honestly, we can gain guidance from the inner guidance light. In her medical practice, the author found that many patients actually know very well why they got sick. When she asked patients, "What do you think is the root cause of your illness?" patients would say, "Because I've been too busy, feeling drained, my marriage is unhappy, or I've lost my life direction." Oh, when he asked patients what they need to recover health, they'd say, "I gotta resign, I need more friends, or I gotta tell my partner I had an affair." You can see, even without a doc analyzing reasons, many patients know intuitively that disease roots are stress from various factors. To get healthy, gotta eliminate that stress. This is the power of the inner guidance light. To better listen to your inner guidance light, the author recommends a sitting meditation. Find a quiet spot, sit down, close your eyes, focus on your chest's rise and fall, and feel air flowing through your nostrils. Then pay attention to any physical sensations you feel, like pain, ringing ears, chest tightness, and so on. Then, with an open and kind attitude, invite your inner guidance light. Tell yourself, behind these feelings, what thoughts and emotions are hiding. Through this practice, we can stay more connected to our inner guidance light. The fourth step in self-healing is diagnosing the disease's root cause. Doctors can offer treatment advice, but only the patient knows in which life areas they're feeling stressed out. So, to diagnose the root cause, patients must honestly face and explore themselves. The book lists a series of questions about factors affecting mind-body health. By answering these, we can understand which factors are stressing us out. I'll cover 5 key factors here. First is the inner guidance light. It's the cornerstone of mind-body health. Whether diagnosing roots or finding solutions, we rely on our inner guidance light. To feel it better, ask yourself, am I living the life I truly want? What cravings am I not filling? When my inner light talks to me, do I really listen? If I bravely listen to my inner light, who could I become? The second factor is interpersonal relationships. Questions from the author include, how do I feel about my love life? How can I feel totally loved? If my loved one died today, would I want to tell him? Is there anyone I gotta forgive? And am I willing to? The third factor is work purpose. You need to ponder, what's my gift? Am I spending most of my work time using my natural talents? How do I feel physically and emotionally while working? Even if I don't like the job, have I learned something valuable from it? The fourth factor is mental health. We should ask ourselves, what makes me happy or unhappy? Do past psychological traumas still cause me pain? How much time do I spend on negative criticism and complaints? Am I obsessing over what I lack rather than appreciating what I have? The fifth factor is physical health. Questions to consider include, how are my diet and exercise habits? What bad habits do I need to break? What disrupts my sleep? Am I willing to invest time, money, and energy in caring for my body? After answering these, we enter self-healing's fifth step, prescribing for ourselves. During self-diagnosis, we'll discover many factors needing improvement. Next, we'll write specific improvement plans for each factor. Before planning, close your eyes for minutes, reminding yourself to stay open, loving, and compassionate while connecting deeply with your inner guidance light. When feeling confident and relaxed, open your eyes and trust your intuition to write improvement plans. If I'm sure how to improve certain areas, seek healthcare providers' advice. Take the author herself. Overwhelmed by work and grieving her father and brother's deaths, she developed hypertension, severe allergies, and early cervical cancer. Medications and surgeries only controlled symptoms until self-diagnosis and self-prescription. The author resolved to make changes across all life areas. Work-wise, realizing she disliked hectic doctoring, she quit, sold her house, moved to a peaceful town, embracing relaxation while writing and painting. For mental health, she learned optimism and practiced gratitude. For physical health, daily hour-long hikes or yoga, plus minimum 7-hour nightly sleep. After 2 years of lifestyle changes combined with medication, her health issues were nearly cured. His blood pressure normalized, no more allergy shots needed, early cervical cancer symptoms vanished, and overall happiness soared. The doctor told the author he looked 10 years younger. The sixth step of self-healing is letting go of outcomes. Some patients cure themselves after completing the first 5 steps. The author herself is proof. Another patient with 2 decades of chronic illness saw symptoms disappear after 3 months of treatment. However, the author notes, while positive beliefs spark self-healing, unknowns remain even with lifestyle changes. Recovery isn't guaranteed. Still, she believes effort matters. Another patient deteriorated despite exhaustive efforts. Yet through radical self-love guided by his inner light, he released past resentments and fears, forging deeper bonds with loved ones. In life's final chapter, he healed not just himself, but others too. When he passed, hundreds attended his funeral, mourning a life vibrantly lived. For the author, self-healing's greatest meaning is reigniting our inner spark to live harmoniously and joyfully. Once achieved, we release outcomes, living our remaining days with calm acceptance. Okay, let's summarize part 3. Physical health stems from holistic mind-body harmony. For self-healing, we must trust our body's innate healing power. Find proper support, listen to your inner light to diagnose roots, self-prescribe, and release outcomes. With that, we've nearly covered the placebo effect. The author believes the placebo effect reveals a new health perspective. Physical health reflects overall mind-body wellness. Fighting disease requires both external tools like meds or surgery and internal self-healing strength. By heeding our inner light and practicing radical self-love, we unleash our body's healing power for greater health and happiness. All right, the placebo effect. That wraps up our interpretation of this book. Reading notes are below the audio. See you next time.